Morning, everyone. It's March the 1st, and we're going to do a little garden update on what we have here. We've put a few more pots out of some stuff. Got a few of our seedlings transplanted. We'll start down here with our strawberries. These are the ones we brought from Indiana, and they're really doing good so far. I will have to fertilize a little bit. I see a little yellowing in a couple of them, but you can see they've got nice strawberries coming out on them, flowers. We've had bees all over them, so about every one's got a couple little strawberries coming out. And then our marigold plants. These were seedlings that I started, and I put in these nice little pots here. I think they're about a gallon pot. So they're doing good. We transplanted them the other day. Let's see. And then we have these first 6 15-gallon pots. They've got potatoes in them. And I dug around in the straw yesterday, and the potatoes are starting to come up through the straw. Every one of them has let me see if I can get you a shot of it. But they're starting to come up. You can see that right there. We did have a cold snap hit them, and I thought this little guy was going to die after that 20-degree morning. But he's coming back out. There's a few more leaves popping out there on him. So every pot here has some potatoes coming up. There's another one. You can see, let me move that a little bit, that straw out of the way. So our potatoes are starting to come up. We're supposed to be in the 70s this week, so that's going to help everything out. Here, these last 2 15-gallon containers are the cabbage seedlings that we had, and I planted 4 seedlings in these cups, and I went ahead and in these big pots I put the best looking 2. There's one there and there's one there, and then the other 2 that didn't, they were a lot smaller and didn't look as well. I left them sitting here just in case we have any bug damage or cold snap kills them. We'll have a couple of spares there. And over here in these big pots, these are 25-gallon pots. There's nothing planted in these yet. This is the soil mixture I made for our tomatoes and giant Marconi peppers, and I made that, I think, last week, maybe a week or 2 ago, just to let it sit here and get some rain on it and get those organic amendments working together. So we'll be planting our tomatoes and peppers, if they make it, into these guys. We've got a video of the soil mixture. I'll probably upload that next week. And here's the seedlings we have left here. There's a couple of the giant Marconis coming up. And they were really slow to germinate down here this year. Usually they pop up a lot better for us, but we are doing things outside instead of inside our home that we had in Indiana, so that may be part of that. I had the seed mat on them, and they just didn't start as well as the ones we started back home. Here's some DP sweet onions. We did a video on planting those seedlings, and they're coming up. And then we planted some lettuce, some romaine lettuce. It's not coming up yet. There's a few more marigolds. I started another crop of those, so we can do the other side of this area where we have them along there. We'll just get some more 1-gallon pots and put them on this side. I'd like to line every edge of this plastic we have down with those guys. And here's our tomato plants. Here's the halcinators. they're really doing great. And this is just a little seedling I found on the coast when we was down there visiting Gulfport. We was out on the beach, and this was something just looked like a little nut laying there with a little sprig coming out of it. So I brought it home and threw it in a pot, and it's got some leaves coming out on it. So I don't know what that is. We'll have to look that up, but it's a pretty little plant. But you can see the halcinators there. And then over here you can see this is black brandywine plants. And these are really nice looking plants. They were in these smaller cups. But when I planted the seedlings, I threw 2 or 3 seeds in each cup. And just in case some didn't sprout, but they all sprouted. So I went ahead and transplanted them the other day into these 16-ounce cups. Those are 8-ounce cups. So I transplanted these guys into 16-ounce cups. You can see they're doing good. They're probably, that one right there is probably 4 or 5 inches tall. And it's just, they're loving living down here. So we hope that we can get a couple of these going. And we can get a couple of these going in these containers right here that they're sitting on. And then we'll give the rest away to our neighbors down the road here. And our friend Keith, who's been helping us out over here at the house. And then over here, in this little area, we had a bunch of wild looking grass that had taken over this whole little area. So my wife asked me to dig that out of there. It really didn't look good at all. So we dug that out of there, and then over there where you can see these little yellow flowers. I'm not sure what this flower is. I don't do too many flowers. I should, but these little yellow flowers, and then these little white flowers, we dug up some of these. And where we took that ugly old dead grass out of there, we planted a small little spot of them right there. And where I dug the ground up, it was real loose. So I just raked up some of our pine needles from over there on that side of the property under those big pine trees. And we went ahead and planted our beets down here. And you can see they're looking good. Actually, they're taking off really nice. And I'm really surprised that the rabbits haven't found these guys yet, because every morning we look outside about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and we have rabbits running through our yard. But you can see how nice these beets look. And they get nice early morning sun. It comes up over here. I'm not trying to blind you there, sorry. And then it goes across the house like that during the day, and then gets on that part of the property in the evening. So everything here gets nice morning sun. And we'll walk down here and get you a picture of our fruit trees. This is a nice early morning picture of this guy. I just did a video of the pollinators all over it, and they are just loaded up with blooms, and the pollinators are loving it. So everything's doing well. Everything's looking good. where the blooms were coming out. Now you can see we're starting to get a lot of leaves popping out on these guys. You can see all the leaves on this guy. It's a really beautiful tree. Even though it's kind of broken off and stunted down here, it still has a lot of blooms and a lot of leaves coming out. So we're certainly blessed with everything we've got going on here. And the first year that we're down here, we're going to do everything in containers so we can figure out where the best place would be on the other side, if any, to get our stuff in the ground here in a year or two. And if this does well here, maybe we'll just keep it here for a few years until we get it all figured out and get our soil right, because we're going to have to work on the soil for a few years before we start planting anything in the ground. I like to have that right and ready before we go. Then we won't have to fight it all the way with adding all kinds of amendments and nutrients. So just a little garden update to show you how things are doing. March the 1st, there's no way that we could have this stuff outside back home in Indiana. So Lord's blessed us with a nice place down here that we can do this early and get going. And everything's looking good. Thanks for watching.